Okay, I'm so sick of people bashing one of my favorite series of all time. Like, we all have our own opinions, but the reason why they're bashing is because TikTok and Book Talk has basically recommended a series to them, saying it is like Game of Thrones, not Game of Thrones, Game of Glass, Throne of Glass, how it's like enemies to lovers, and how it's a romantasy. And this is one of my favorite series, and I do not like people bashing it because they were deceived. And so, if you are thinking about reading the Poppy Wars and you have been told these 3 points, I'm basically going to tell you why it's none of these. Start off, romantasy. Romantasy is basically like ACOTAR. It is a plot with romance in it. This is just a plot with like zero romance. There is nothing there. There is nothing to imagine, and there's just no point in trying to make it want to be romance when in reality it's war. Alright, I'll give you the genre of this. It's basically dark military fantasy where there is war, an emphasis on dark war, because the first 18 chapters of this book is just world building, politics, and just sort of learning about the characters, and after it starts to really amp up because it talks about the war that's going on, and chapter 21 is famously known as book because it's basically inspired by historical war events that are so dark, right? And this is where this chapter you really start to learn where things are basically going to turn, how dark this book is going to get, and how unhinged it's going to become. Second point, it's like Throne of Glass. It is not. I haven't read Throne of Glass, but I have seen so many people on my For You page say that they expect it to be like Throne of Glass because it was recommended to them, and it was not. And how they're so upset with this book. And I trust their opinion. If they say it's not like Throne of Glass, I trust it's not Throne of Glass. So if you are wanting to read this because someone said it's like Throne of Glass, don't read it. Your expectations will be severely, severely not met. 3. Enemies to lovers. Right? There is no lovers in this. Right? You will read this, and the whole point is it's more like academia rivals to tolerance in this book, right? And I think in the next book, allies, right? But the whole point of this book is literally it's not an enemies to lovers. It is war, right? War destroys love. Love does not destroy war, right? Literally, this book is about these two characters, and you'll see it, right? You'll see that there is something between these two characters that is blossoming, right? And you think to yourself, you're like, damn, if war wasn't going on, could this potentially turn into a romance? Like, could they actually start to tolerate and like each other? Right? Because you can sort of see it, they're starting to, like, something's happening, but then you realize this is war, and this is rarely going to happen. So you're like, would this happen? And another thought I had is the war brought them together, right? They got them to tolerate each other. If the war wasn't going